Good morning once again. This video for today is all about gaming and gamification in tourism. So this is our next topic for recreation and leisure management. So I have given to you the module on the gaming and gamification in tourism, and there are 10 ways to make tourism more playful in the digital way. So the best practices provided. So let's go into the topic. So for introduction, it states here that gaming is an often underestimated activity that is said to only appeal to pubescent boys who isolate themselves playing video games on Xbox, Nintendo Wii, or desktop computers for hours or even days. Indeed, games are a powerful industry comprising a market share of $93 billion in 2013 and an estimated growth to $222 billion by 2015. Most recently, the image of games experienced a change with the transition from online video games to pervasive gaming, with the advent of mobile technologies and the accompanied opportunity to play games everywhere because there are so many computer opportunities with you. For example, your phones, for example, you can play games there. um, like say for some of the mobile legends nowadays, there is no need for um, buying a very expensive PS4 or Nintendo Xbox for playing, but there are so many players here in the Philippines, and gaming is very popular here in the Philippines also. And then mobile games are the fastest growing game segment, almost doubling its revenue from 2013 and 2015 from 13 billion to 22 billion dollars. So these advancements of mobile technologies have motivated game designers to create innovative gameplay for diverse purposes and multiple contexts such as travel and tourism. So there are so many ways in which the gaming developers have chosen to do travel and tourism as part of the gaming experience. So besides the progress in the mobile game market, games mechanics and game design thinking has lately been used in non-gaming context, also known as gamification. So this novel development has the power to change people's motivation and behavior, develop skills, and drive innovation. So whereas some tourism players are still concerned with their social media strategy, others have already moved to implement gaming into their marketing strategy to engage customers and employees in new ways and to create a culture of playfulness and fun. So recent technological advancements initialize current developments that are tested by research in positive psychology and behavior sciences. There is a shift from an information to a ludic society. So this report that we have here right now presents 10 best practices for pre, during, and after traveling that pioneered the application of games and gamification concepts to create innovative products and services for the travel and tourism industry. So if you have noticed, we cannot travel physically right now, but there are some certain apps that you can use so that you can see and travel to other places. Like say for example, the YouTube channel or the YouTube app, you can use that so that you can see other places also. We might not see them physically, but then we can see them virtually. So this topic that we have now is introducing us to 10 best practices in which we can use gaming in the travel and tourism sector. So we have here location-based augmented reality games. So this one, location-based augmented reality games, playing on site in a tourism destination with a smartphone will be one of the major developments in the next few years. So although already available in some cities such as London, Berlin, Barcelona, and Stockholm, advances in mobile technologies enable game experiences out of the tourist's pocket with these little game apps. So location-based games take visitors on individual and interactive walks through the place being visited. So tourists might stroll with Shakespeare in Stratford upon Avon on a literature walk through the town, discover the sounds of Stockholm, or meet a border policeman in Berlin talking about the former divided city. Exciting scavenger hunts are possible anywhere, and the local characters tell the history of the place and give background information. Location-based games bring history alive and create playful interactions between the visitor and the tourist destination. Technologies such as the augmented reality or the AR provides interactive features to the gameplay by augmenting virtual game characters and game elements for the player. So in this app, there is particular app here so-called the location-based augmented reality games. So you can find that type of app in Trip Ventures. I will be placing that, in the video also, so that you can see and you can also discover on how to visit places using such kind of app. I have seen this one in the movie of Johnny English. If you are familiar, Johnny English. So, there's one scene there is using a virtual reality device, and then he's wearing that, and then he went to places all around. I think that's in London. So the app is actually existing now, but in the British countries, no, we don't have that here in third world countries, no, specifically here in the Philippines, because it's really expensive. But you can have that experience of even talking to people, no, besides the VR. So you can actually talk to them, and they are going to answer all your questions. And then we have gamified tour guides. So gamified travel tours for urban and rural environments. So these ordinary mobile tour guides become more gameful with the integration of game elements, which is currently fashionable with apps such as Foursquare. So that's the second app, the Foursquare. This type of best practice for gamification, we have the gamified tour guides now. So while visiting a city, players check into their favorite cafe and collect points and badges online to redeem them for vouchers or discounts on their purchase. The similar approaches have been used to gamify a tour guide for New York, which is also available for more than a dozen US cities as well as London. So the visitor exploring the city on a scavenger hunt adventure which runs on a mobile app. These gamified walking tours may be themed differently as they are limited to altered locations. So gamified walking themes may range from criminal investigations or literature walks to unravel destination secrets. With some gamified applications, visitors are even able to create their own tours. So the aim of these tours is to discover hidden spots of an unknown place or known place and compete with other players. So this app, okay, so the Foursquare is the name of the app. And for everyone who likes a bit of nature and cannot forgo their smartphone, mountain experiences became much of a game with hiking and cycling apps, which use the gaming aspect to compete with other activity fans. So more about these hiking adventures, there's a website also that I'll be giving you so that you can also experience them. So the second one is tour guides, in a form of game. So you can visit places, and then you can also, there are games, Eventually, when you are doing tour, there are certain games in the app in which you can also use so that you cannot be bored at the same time while touring. And then we have next is gaming in theme parks. So the third one is gaming in theme parks. So we have here augmented playful experiences in adventure parks. So adventure parks are great places to implement games, as they are already playgrounds on their own for young and adult visitors. They all seek entertaining and playful experiences in these parks. So the Walt Disney Company started using the augmented reality for visitor guidance and enhancing park attractions. However, the next level is implementing games by using the park's own theme to tell stories and create more engaging experiences. So the Dutch theme park Efteling created an AR game experience for its visitors to play on their smartphones. So you need to have a smartphone for this. So the mobile app includes an interactive game called The Fairy and the Safe. in which players have to collect as many points as possible while escaping from the witch who is after your virtual coins when you run into her. So in the interactive audio fairy tale, children can teach the witch to save money so that she doesn't have to steal it anymore. So there's also a good thing about this because it's actually kid friendly or child friendly. No, they're not teaching our children to become bad or to compete without reason. So while you are in Disney, you can play this game. So that is the third one. So you have this game on theme parks. You can see this in your module, guys. So you can see there, and there are also links where in which you can visit so that you can also experience this type of game. But to mind you, these games are somehow restricted to places in which it's not readily available. Say for example, there might games here in this module that are not available here in the Philippines yet. And then we have next is the gaming in cultural heritage. So gamified immersive experiences in cultural heritage. Gaming in cultural heritage sites creates an immersive experience for visitors to connect through missions and quests with the past history. So while learning about the past history of a certain culture, you're also having fun because you are doing a game. There is strong scientific evidence that playing evokes the feeling of being present in previous times with the people who lived back then. How nice it is, no? To play with Adolf Hitler or maybe Albert Einstein or any people who lived in the past. And then cultural heritage sites increasingly use new forms of learning, drawing the concepts of serious gaming or games with a purpose and gamification. So these advancements are more efficient and effective over traditional learning methods in terms of developing social interaction and remembering historical facts. So these games open up new opportunities to transfer education and culture through gameplay and thus enhance the visitor's experience because while you are doing learning, no, while you are learning rather the culture of certain place, cultural heritage, you are also doing games so that you can remember. And then the technology of mobile location-based gaming provides a new format of heritage experience by linking ordinary exhibition and interactive gameplay as a digression to the past. The introduced game is played at Wartburg Castle, Germany, to touching the history of the location and addressing families and groups. So in your module, you can see there the ghost game Wartburg Castle in Germany. So this game is eventually you can play this in your smartphone, but then as what I've said, there are restrictions. Okay, next to it is the transmedia storytelling. So gamification in transmedia storytelling rather. For destination management organizations or DMOs, it is important to engage visitors before, during, and after the travel. As gaming is multifaceted, it can be combined with other techniques such as transmedia storytelling, which uses the social media platforms and other interactive networks to create a narrative and deliver a story. So participants can alter the game story at any time and according to their own ideas. So players are so intensively involved within the storyboard, creating their individual stories in real time while they are still at home or on site at the destination. Game designers guide the players through next plot-based challenges and simultaneously interact with the players. Different media platforms are used to best transfer the story via videos, pictures, and interactions. So we have here the game called the Travel Plot Porto, which is an excellent example of transmedia storytelling, in which an English tourist is on a mission to save the port wine. In order to succeed, they will have to solve different challenges to find a hidden treasure. So you can see here Travel Plot Porto, and you can also see a video about it. It's in your module. And then next we have the gamified restaurant experience. So after this discussion, I'll be sending you also an example of the gaming tourism made by Xbox. So the gamified restaurant experience, the fast food chain McDonald's had used gamification long before the term has been invented and without any technology support. So the well-known game, which is based on a classic Monopoly, tracks back to 1987. So the application is entirely offline, in which customers collect stickers of Monopoly streets by purchasing a product. The aim is to collect streets to the same color to be eligible for a prize. The impulse purchases seem to work for a long time now, which earns McDonald's 5.6% increase in sales. Because of this game in a form of Monopoly, McDonald's is very famous abroad and here in the Philippines that not so because a we have Jollibee to compete McDonald's. And one recent game uses current technologies such as mobile phones to interact with digital billboards to get free food from the nearest restaurant. So the pick and play game was rolled out in Sweden with a great success. Players didn't need to download any app as it was sufficient to use their GPS to ensure they are in the game area. While the customer is happy to get a free burger, McDonald's intention is to increase sales with their approach, which customers only wants a burger without chips and a Coke. The little extra purchase is what the chain is after. So besides, McDonald's launched a crowdsourcing campaign in Canada in which customers were asked to create their own storyline with the burgers, warbs, and nuggets as movie stars. The best stories are featured into super short film which is used as an advertisement for the restaurant chain. So participants receive free movie tickets as rewards for their participation. So it's actually a marketing technique by McDonald's in which they're using this game so that they can give back to their customers. No, once they have earned rewards from the game, those rewards can be used for purchase in McDonald's. Okay, so you can also watch the movie campaign of McDonald's 140 character film contest. And then also we have gamification hospitality. So the application of gamification hospitality, which is very relevant in our discussion. So gamification can be applied in hospitality in two different ways. We have employer motivation and customer engagement. When applied correctly, gamification is an efficient way to drive a desired outcome. However, it might also lead to the opposite as shown with the Disneyland hotel laundry worker example. Leaderboards were installed to measure employees' productivity, but the scoreboards lead to fierce competition amongst the housekeeping staff, and workers felt that they were being controlled by their managers. There is a backtrack, no, Sikibali, there is a story, no, behind the gamification hospitality, which in turn could lead to, instead of worker motivation or employees motivation, it could lead to chaos and problem inside the hotel or establishments. Gamification should support the company culture, and individual approaches need to be established in order to facilitate a playful and motivated environment instead of competing with one another. So intrinsic and extrinsic motivation has a major impact on the success of gamification. So a hotel in Germany applied game elements to engage their guests in a charitable act. So theming the historical connections of the hotel as a residence of knights and kings, the guests get awarded for their loyalty. After 21 overnight stays, the hotel customers receive a letter in which they are invited to be ennobled by a king. In order to become ennobled and to enter the next stage of the game, the player is asked to make a charitable donation. So the certificate is then handed over to the hotel who upgrades the player. So the participation in the gamification event was amazing as more than a quarter of guests participated and raised several thousand euros for that specific hotel in Germany. But also the hotel guests were awarded with feeling needed and being a part of a higher mission, eventually more engaged with the hotel because the hotel is actually engaging together with their customers. They are also giving back to their customers through certifications, no, after those customers had given a charitable donation. Okay, so you can see there in your module a picture of the gamified hotel experience in Hotel Prince Bad, Bavaria. And then we have also gamified flying experience in the aviation industry. So you can now also experience, no, how to go or travel using an airplane. You have this experience to get a ride in an airplane. So applying game elements in a context that started gaming roots in the travel industry. So in the early 1980s, American Airlines introduced its frequently flyer program to increase brand loyalty. Thanks to the ubiquity of smartphones, big data, and new forms of communication, these advancements will continue to influence our future travel styles. So airlines such as KLM or Virgin America brush up their long-standing loyalty programs by integrating social networks. So KLM launched the Meet and Seat feature for passengers to find out who else in the flight and connect with them via their Facebook, Google, or LinkedIn profile. So the value for the passengers in sharing their personal details with other customers is to find interesting people or passengers that attain the same event at the destination. You can view this at KLM Meet and Seat in your module. So the Virgin America Seat-to-Seat delivery feature launched the first social network for meeting and collaborating over the clouds, no? Or in your social media using your computer. So the idea is to facilitate connecting people who want to treat the companion or break the ice for conversation by sending a drink or snack. So the amorous communication, which also delivers text messages to the other passengers, works over the built-in touchscreen entertainment system of the plane. So you have here Suresh Branson, the owner of the Virgin Company, himself introduces this feature with a guide to getting lucky video. So you can see that also in your module. So you can now experience talking with your co-passengers inside the plane by using this type of game. And then viewing cultural heritage online. So you can also do that now, through the games which are versatile in their application. But we can also learn from the game design in other contexts such as virtual traveling. So you can now go travel to other places and you can now see different cultural heritage and understand those cultural heritage through gamification. So you can now travel using Google by going into Google Earth. That can distant traveling truly replace real travel experience? No. You can never really replace online or virtual traveling with traveling personally. There may be several reasons supporting that travel experiences cannot be substituted by virtual experiences. However, for some people, virtual travels might be the only way to experience foreign countries. So, endangered species and protected cultural heritage, especially those who really cannot afford going to going to far away places, specifically abroad. No, kay mahal kaayo, you need to use money for your passport, for other papers, and then your visa, and then money for traveling, of course. And then also there you are not given an opportunity, at this moment because of the COVID pandemic. So now with the gamification available, you can now see and travel outside the Philippines. So the massive influence from computer games in creating virtual cultural heritage experiences rather is still a niche area, although with huge potential. So within these virtual worlds, travelers learn about people, cultural setting, and artifacts from ancient times. So in here, an example here is a virtual romance, which is a project that virtually constructs part of Roman Leicester from the 3rd century. So the visitor can explore 3D models from the Roman buildings either in the Leicester Arts and Museum or as a location-based virtual application for smartphones. So you can now travel to Rome, if there is a chance in which you are given through gamification, because Rome is very far from the Philippines, and because of gamification you are now given that experience, to see Rome. I want to go there also. And then we have virtual travel, gamified virtual travel. We have here Expedia.com, the world's largest online travel agency, had launched the travel around the world in 100 days game in June last year. So this was 2020. Okay, so the game is created to increase the awareness of Expedia's loyalty program and engage with customers. So players can earn real-world Expedia reward points and redeem them on your travel bookings. So in here, in your module, you can see their experiences around the world in 100 days. So derived from the chosen travel persona from the online game, customers receive personalized travel offers and learn more about interesting destinations around the world. Okay, so you also have here another virtual game, Smileland from the Tourism Board of Thailand. So you can see there in your module rather the links no in the game or social media game also. We have here the Holman Collins ski jump and the social media game Ireland Down. So those are the 10 best practices that we can use today, specifically during this COVID pandemic time in which we want to travel but then we cannot because one, we are scared that the COVID pandemic virus or the pandemic rather or the COVID virus will come to us. We can get the virus from anyone and then anywhere, and then places are banned because of the pandemic, so we cannot really go there, but we can experience traveling using virtual experiences or augmented reality through the use of our smartphones and computers or any other technology that we have at home that can help us travel. So I'll be giving you an example that one. I'll be sending you an experience on how to travel in places in which you can see also European countries, other Asian countries, and also the Africa. There are so many continents in the world that we can see now through the augmented reality, and you are given that kind of opportunity. So I hope this lecture had given you an insight on how to feel free to travel even using your smartphones, because I am excited, even though it's really different from traveling personally. But since we have this experience of virtually traveling abroad, then let's give it a try. So thank you for watching this video and have a great day. I will see you on the next lecture.